everyone, this is Dr. Mansi from Homeopathy360 and we are back again with the webinar series in collaboration with HHF. And today a very warm welcome to Dr. Sarita Gupta ma'am, a renowned homeopath practitioners associated with HHF, contributing to its educational initiative and conducting numerous regional and national level lectures. And we have a very interesting topic today, that is a new suture for life, homeopathy's holistic approach to wound healing and PCOD. Now, let me introduce Dr. Sarita ma'am. First of all, ma'am, thank you so much for coming on this platform. I'm definitely sure we are going to learn today very much. And as you have chosen a very important topic for women to learn, and for all practitioners, it is very important to understand the PCOS cases. Now, let me introduce Dr. Sarita ma'am. As I have said, she's a homeopath with over 20 years of experience. She passed out BHMS in 1997 from Pune and further pursued her PG degree FCAH from MUHS in 2023. Since 2020, she has been associated with HHF, contributing to its educational initiatives. Her expertise in V-Care Homeopathic Clinic in Nehru, treating various types of disorders, including autoimmune, skin problems, respiratory, and much more. And she is also commitment to patient care. She is known for her dedication to providing cost-effective and side-effect-free homeopathic treatments. And she also focuses on holistic healing. Now, we are, ma'am, eagerly waiting for your learning session. Ma'am, I would like to hand over the mic to you. Ma'am, please proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Mansi, for the warm welcome and your kind words of appreciation. I would like to thank Homeopathy360 for inviting me on such a platform to share my experience. Also, I would like to thank all my mentors of HHF, especially Pallavi ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So today, I think I would do justice to everyone by sharing my knowledge. And so I would start this thing. I'll share the screen. I'll share the PPT. Thank you, everyone, once again. Thank you, all my friends, for joining and giving your valuable time. I'll start my screen. Ma'am, it's not sharing. Share sound option is not working.
Ma'am, when you click on the share button, you will have the option.
No, share sound is automatically taken.
No, ma'am. You have the access to share screen. Do you see the share button?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Started.
Am I audible and visible both?
Yes, ma'am. Both. You
Yeah,
can also keep your screen full.
Yeah. 1 minute, I'll just drag this. Of course. I'll just share once again. It's not working. Is it visible and audible, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Huh. So, thank you, Homeopathy 360, for welcoming me on this platform. My topic for today is a new suture for life, homeopathy's holistic approach to wound healing and PCOD. Happy Navratri to everyone. These 9 days are very auspicious day, and I'm glad I got this opportunity on such a wonderful day. Gratitude to our master Samuel Hahnemann, because of whom we all are here. And today we are experiencing and healing with this beautiful science. Gratitude to our three masters of HHF, Milind Rao sir, Mohanty sir, Narendra Gupta sir. Though I didn't meet Milind Rao sir and Mohanty sir as I joined in 2020, but I have heard a lot about them, and I could see their reflection in all my other mentors of HHF, like Mayur sir, KY sir, Sunil sir. Gratitude to all of them. Gratitude to my Navi Mumbai mentor, Yogesh sir, Nikhil sir, uh, Rajesh Misal sir, Pallavi Chaturvedi ma'am for always giving me the opportunity, and my friends Jovin and Dr. Jayant. They are always helping and guiding. Gratitude to my whole HHF family. So now I would just start with the case. Today I'll be showcasing two cases. So my purpose of showing the cases, though it's the remedy can be seen in different facets. It can be acute or it can be chronic. So the two aspects of the same remedy we will be seeing today. And this is sometimes we get patients where the other operating system doesn't seem to give result, and the patient comes to you, so we should always welcome whatever we get, and we should try to give our best. So this case suddenly landed up in 2022. He's a patient of 60-year age, and he called me on telephonic conversation. The whole case was. So he just called me and he said he was a distant relative, long distance. So I knew him little bit. So he called me and said ki, I had this and this, like on the shin of his right leg, there is a bal tod, which is furuncle. So with that, he got a big pus boil over there, which he got operated. And after operation, also 18 days had passed. So, but when the wound was not healing, so that time he called me. So I just read the conversation, what the patient told me on phone. He said that after 18 days have passed post-operation, but the wound is not healing. The surgeon told that it will take another 3 to 4 weeks, and that too is not sure as there is pus seen in the bed of the wound. So daily he was dressing that wound, getting it cleaned, everything, but still that pus wasn't removed. I'll show you the pictures during the follow-ups, how the wound started and how it progressed. So then he said ki, the surgeon told that it may require an operative drainage if it is not drying up. So that time, that was the startling moment. So my purpose of showing you, like homeopathy, we focus on the concern, adaptation, and reaction of the patient. So be it a acute case or be it a chronic case, the state of mind of the patient in that particular instance is very important. Like if we say like it's a furuncle case, wahan pe what's the need? How do you come to know the mind? It's a plain, proper pathological case. So that way, many of the homeopaths think. But every illness, whether it be a surgery or whatever the patient is going through, any illness, there is mind related behind it. Based on that, we need to come to the simillimum. So when he said that, I was shocked to hear that it will take another 3 to 4 weeks, as he was totally relying on those doctors, surgeons for getting it healed. Then he said that now next 15 days, I'll have to take precaution not to wet the wound. Daily he has to apply a plastic over that wound before going for bath. So his main concern was, बार बार he was saying, बहुत लंबा खिंच गया है. He has cut it too deep. The surgeon has cut that wound so deep. If you see the picture, it is very horrifying. Even I was shocked to see that depth of the wound. So he said कि ये इतना लंबा खींच गया है, he has cut it too deep and it should have been healed till now. So I asked, what is your concern now? So he said, because of this wound not getting healed, my morning walk and exercises have all come to halt. See, behind everything, how the mind is related, what is bothering him? Wound is the primary thing, but along with that, what else is bothering him? So his daily morning walk, exercises, and whatever daily routine was getting affected. So he said, "Ki I feel very dull and lethargic because I cannot do my exercises." So he also mentioned that he goes for a 5 kilometer cycling daily or walk and then go for a gym for 1 hour. 60-year male, you can imagine how fit he is trying to be. Daily going for walk and exercise. So that routine is getting hampered. Then I said, Ki, any other stress going on in your life? So he is a businessman with a big factory setup. And then he said, yes, business stress is going on. But he suddenly inquired me, does that hamper the healing process of my leg? So I said to him, yes, it does, because whatever you think at your mind level, that affects your uh, physical problem. So he said that I think whatever problem I'm facing in business is also going to take too long to resolve. See how his physical complaint and mental another set of problem at business is matching. So he's saying कि यहाँ पर भी it is taking too long to resolve. बहुत लंबा समय हो रहा है. And the business problem was there was a separation of business with his partner, his elder brother's son. So that process was becoming very tedious, and he was going through that rough phase of separation. So then he himself told कब खत्म होगा. यहाँ पर भी he is saying कब खत्म होगा. वहाँ also he is saying बहुत लंबा खींच गया. So before operation 2, I took nearly 15 days for the it took nearly 15 days for the abscess to form. So you can imagine he came to me 18 days after operation. And before that, 15 days already the abscess was forming before operation. So it was more than a month he was going through everything. So, and then that scared him ki after this, again, how the problem will resolve another 3 to 4 weeks, the doctor is saying. So he's saying it is very painful and I'm not able to walk properly. So this was his concern. Then he said it was an unexpected that it will stretch. I never thought that it will stretch so long, this healing process so long, and daily going to the surgeon for dressing disturbs my routine. So that was also his concern. Daily going to the surgeon's clinic, then he had to wait. The surgeon used to come. He mentioned all these. I didn't write here. He had to wait for the surgeon to come. Sometimes his assistants used to come and do the dressing. So that all process was disturbing his daily routine. So but at the same time, when he was describing this, he was describing, he said, ultimately there is a solution to every problem. But like be it at business or be the healing, finally it ठीक तो होगा. That way he told. But time लगेगा. That is the concern. But when the surgeon told it will take 3 to 4 weeks, it bothered me. And as after that also, once I come back to routine, it will take time. Like immediately after the healing, he cannot start the exercises and all. So this was his main concern. And then he said, is there anything in homeopathy for faster healing? Is there anything to apply on the wound? So this was the only conversation I had with the patient. So now I'll share you the pics of the problem, what he was going through. See, everybody just have a look. The cut on the day of operation, how the surgeon had cut that baltod thing of the leg. It was so, well, you cannot see that wound. And the middle picture showing the day of consultation, that was on 17th November 2022, he had contacted me. So you can see the yellowish thing and the pustular bed following beneath the wound. So that's why the wound was not healing. And then I that night I gave him the similimum. And next day I just asked him, you can see the third picture next day after the dose. So I asked him how is the wound today and how is the pain, because the pain was also severe. When there is pus, the pain will be very much there. So he said, I'm feeling much better, Sarita. You can see this. And that is 18 November. So on I gave him 3 doses of the remedy. one 200 dose, one for 3 days, one dose for 3 days. Then after 3 days, see how the picture, November 20, I started the treatment on 17th November, how the wound has started decreasing in size, and you can see the healing process. Then he gave me daily ka pics, but I cannot put all the pics. So after 8 days, again I giving you the 5th November ka pic. So from 23rd November, put him on the 0/1 potency, LM potency of the remedy. For 7 days, I asked him to take for faster healing. And December 3rd, see the wound, how it has nearly shrinked in size with the edges forming this thing, all getting together. Now, wound is almost healed. This is December 3rd, December 6th. And December 9th, a crust is formed. Everything is, it's nearly healed. So this was the wound. Um, Ma'am, I would like anybody inputs about the remedy if they are coming to. Should I stop share my screen? Hello? Yeah, anybody, any inputs from your side? I would like to tell few of my friends of Navi Mumbai have seen it. So I would request, please don't give your this thing, let others participate. Please give your inputs regarding what you felt from the conversation of the patient. So nobody is participating now. I would um, go to the another case. So this is the second case. It is a chronic case of the same remedy, a very different shade of the remedy. So this was the acute case, earlier one, which I showed you about the wound. This is the second case of a polycystic ovarian disease. So this is a 25-year female. She called me like around 20 March 2022. So she told me she gets irregular cycles since 4 to 5 years. And along with the irregular cycles, like she used to get 2 months, 3 months regular cycle, and then after that again 1 or 2 months the cycle won't come. Then again she may get. Sometimes she had to go for the hormonal pills to get the cycle. So this way it was off and on going on since 4 to 5 years. And whenever she used to get the cycle, there was severe dysmenorrhea with severe cramps, bloating, and heavy bleeding with clots. And it was so bad that for first 3 days when she used to get the cycle, she was not able to go to office. Even she used to lie down the whole day in the bed. The pain was so severe, and she had to take many painkillers to subside the pain. So this was her main chief complaint. And then I asked her, like 25 years, you can imagine, like either she is working or studying. So I asked what is her education. She said she has done bachelor's in digital marketing. She is a long distance patient staying in another metro city. So she told me that she was doing work in a company, but in that company where she was working, as she's a bachelor in digital marketing, she was doing all the admin work. So which she didn't like. She said it is not related to my education. So that was bothering her, and she didn't like. So that was creating anger and frustration in her. So she said that once I haven't written the whole incident, what happened? She was talking about this, which she didn't like about the work she was doing with a friend. A third person heard that whatever they were talking, but he went and told something else to the her boss or the management. that she's giving wrong things about the company. She's सबके कान भड़का रही है ये इस तरह से that person went and told. So the company took immediate action and said कि नहीं, you are not good for a company, and so they told कि you are fired by putting false accusations on her. So this incident happened 2 months back. So she said ki that felt very, at that time she felt very humiliated, very angry, and she wasn't allowed to explain her side. Matlab, without anything, she was saying, let me give my explanation, but the company was not ready to listen to it. So this was the incident that happened 2 months back, but immediately she got the next job. So she said, now I am working, but that incident is haunting in my mind. It is creating problem. Ki you naturally somebody giving you resignation, telling you to walk out of the company suddenly, you feel so bad and humiliated. So that was the thing. She said, I whenever that incident comes, so I asked her a concern. Mood swings are there. I'm not able to focus on anything on the current job also. Then I asked her, how does what happens? She says, I get very angry, irritable. I shout, and mostly I remove my anger on my mother. Her IPR status, IPR is interpersonal relationship, that is the family people of the patient. So her father, mother, elder brother, and grandmother. So father, mother, and grandmother were staying in another city. She and her elder brother were staying in one of the metro cities. So then she said, Ki, I don't want to go to my hometown as there is no growth over there. So, like they are staying in separate cities, but she used to remove all her anger on her mother during telephonic conversation. And as soon as she used to keep the phone down, she used to feel, "Arey, मैंने गलत किया मम्मी के साथ. I shouldn't have shouted. I shouldn't have told like this to her." So this was the feeling she had. Then she told me कि career is very important to me because I want to excel in my career. I want to make my own mark. She said, I want to start my own marketing agency. But I said, why? So she said she doesn't like to work under anyone. किसी के pressure में I don't want to work. I want to work on my own. This was her statement. I asked about her nature. So as till now, you must have understood how she is. She's very short-tempered, irritable on small matters, and especially when she is misunderstood, when she is not allowed to explain her side, that time she gets very angry. Then she said कि no doesn't like to hear from anybody. किसी ने मुझे नहीं बोला, तो वो मुझसे सहन नहीं होता है. That way she told me. And everything जो भी मुझे है सब मेरे, I want everything in my way. It should happen the way I want. So one more thing she told ki I won't maintain relations forcefully and won't adjust if she is not respected. So here she gave me an incident ki her mama ji's daughter and all were staying in the same city where she is staying with her brother. So they were putting false blame, or they were fighting and telling unnecessary things to her mother and to the patient. So this made her very upset. She went and fought with them without thinking ki kya hoga. And the parents told ki no, we will solve the matter. But she was saying, why should we, when they are not understanding, when they are not ready to listen, why should we adjust? So that way was her this thing. She cannot hear anything against her family and she fights for them. So this was the nature of the patient. Then I asked about her hobbies. So she said, I like reading, reading so much ki if I start with a book, I complete the whole book without touching the phone for hours, which is impossible in today's generation. Like we all are so addicted to phone ki every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we keep checking our phone. But this person is saying कि मैं book read करना शुरू करती हूँ, I forget everything and I complete the book in one go. So this was her hobby. Then she likes to be in the fantasy world. She likes Harry Potter and all the movies of Harry Potter. She had seen every movie. So that is her this thing. Now, as she told, the complaints are since 4 to 5 years. So one incident happened 2 months back, but I wanted to go like 4 years back, what happened, which impacted on her mind. So because of which she started with this PCOD problem, because since Menar till 4 years back, her cycles were regular. There were no problem. So I to know the why of the case, I asked her कि क्या हुआ था 4 साल पहले, what happened? Then she told कि I don't like to take anybody's help, especially money, not even from my father. So this incident happened 4 years back when she was in college. So her father had some financial loss, and he said कि he'll only send the money for this thing, her college fees, and asked her to reduce her expenses. So this hit her very badly. तो that time she felt कि मुझे ऐसे बोला है, तो फिर she said till date, like 4 years से she hasn't asked a single penny from her father except for the basic fees and all which he used to pay. So she said कि one side I feel I shouldn't burden my father because already he has gone to through so much of financial problems. So this was also the concern, and other side she said कि मैं कभी नहीं मांगूंगी अभी उनसे unless he gives on his own, but I won't go and ask money from him. So this was the incident that impacted her and that created problem in her. So she said ki I managed my I asked her ki like 4 years say how are you managing, like last 2 years you are working, but how are you managing since such a long other expenses? She says I do small like making cards or something and selling them 50 rupees card for 100 rupees, like small gains, and that cumulatively I do savings, and with that I manage my expenses. Then she said she calculates a lot before spending. So I asked how, like, so she said ki how much ever I have in my pocket, based on that I'll do the expenses. If I have to go out for a movie and I feel I don't have that much, so I will avoid going for the movie, but I won't borrow from anybody. So, and she said she only borrows sometimes from her brother, but return कर देती है immediately. I'll return the money if I borrow from my brother too. So this was the this thing. Then she felt neglected in her childhood. एक और childhood incident she just mentioned कि when after grandfather's death, her brother went through some mental health issues, and that time her mother had to give pura attention to the brother. So she told me do this 2 3 times कि I felt very bad as my mummy was constantly looking after my brother. So this is the case. First case I already showed you with the pics, the follow-up, how it went. Second case, the follow-up was 4 days after prescribing the remedy. That is 201 dose for 3 nights I gave. So she got her cycles like after 4 days. And that was like 3 months ka, 2 to 3 months ka gap ke baad this cycle came after the similar. There was a heavy flow with pain and cramps. Then after 1 month, she got a cycle after 30 days of the previous one. Pain was there, but not so severe, and she could go to the office. So I asked her to repeat 201 dose as the pain was there. Then after 3 months, she again contacted me ki office mein there is too much of work pressure and that is disturbing her. She's getting frustrated. So cycles were coming every 28 to 30 days, but mentally she was very upset. So that time I asked her to take 1 dose. And with that, her anger issues also settled. And till now, for a year, she continued with the treatment, but her cycles were regular. And a few days back, I just called up and asked her, ki, how is she doing? She said she is getting her regular cycles now. And the pain and all is not that severe. And now she's planning for her further studies for post graduation. So this was the case. Mansi ma'am, I would just brief the psychodynamics of PCOD, that is loss conflict. So
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
after this, ma'am, I would like the inputs of the delegates.
Sure, ma'am. They can put their queries or any doubts in question
Hmm.
answer box.
Yeah, yeah. So
Like
I'll stop
already
for
we have, I
everybody.
think. Ah,
Actually, I'm
yes, ma'am.
cannot read now.
Okay, sure, ma'am. After the session.
Yeah. So, oh God, what happened? So the psychodynamics of PCOD is loss conflict, loss of loved one, or fear of losing a beloved person. There are different, any of these things can fit into the patient. So psychodynamics is the mind-body relation, like our Mayur sir always tells, mind-body-soul axis. So what affects the mind, that affects the physical plane. So one of the reason can be loss of loved one or fear of losing a beloved person, constant blame that is following a breakup, then loss conflict. Now, most of the women who get miscarriage or threatened abortion, there is also a loss conflict. So after that, also they may complain of PCOD. A loss conflict can be activated through an argument, betrayal, or unfaithfulness of a partner or friend. So, if anybody has betrayed you or anybody has cheated you, then also you feel that that person is not there in your life and all. So, that can also lead to PCOD. And another reason is freedom getting affected, that then there is a fear of losing freedom. So when you feel that you're being restricted and you are not allowed to do, like normally it happens, females are given more restrictions by the parents. So they feel, ki, why should we be restricted? Why are boys allowed to do everything? So that time they feel like we should be like boys. The feminine character subdues and they feel like they should be like boys. So it that affects the hormonal pattern, and then indirectly it affects the ovarian this thing ovaries. So everything is directly or indirectly related to it. So friends, give your concern analysis, your analysis, your concern, adaptation, reaction regarding the patient. Pratiksha Kole has written anxiety business, carried desire to be carried fast, shrieking help for trust talks. Okay. And Sandhya, she's saying wants respect, anxious about family, wants to be independent. Yeah, this is the second case. Courageous, Hamamelis DD, Natramure. Then Sulphur 200, Dr. Vayan Rao, and Phytolacca 200 simultaneously. Payal and Khyati are saying it's sulfur. So yeah, egoistic remedy to hai, because the way she was saying about everything, the second case especially. So both the cases are totally different, but see the remedy is same. So एक case का concern adaptation reaction is totally different, and the second case is an एकदम different picture. So ma'am, I'll go with the PPT analysis of mine. So I'll share my analysis, good inputs. So, like normally we are in HHF, we are taught that we have to see three things in any case. Like in acute cases, we see the person in disease. Like my first case was acute case where it is a chronic problem, but it was a acute this thing presentation. So in that, the change of temperament during sickness, like how it affected him at that moment of time. So that is person in disease. Then second is disease in person, that is discomfort in the life of the patient, dis at ease. So normally here we get the ailments from like loss of position, ailments from death of somebody, ailments from discords, anything like all these ailments where the person is not at ease. So that is the disease in person. And third is person as a whole, where we have to see the basic quality of the person also. So the second case was a person as a whole where her earlier features plus her current concern, everything had to be taken in totality. So that totality was needed in that chronic case. So in the first case, I would like it is a retro study after the medicine when I had a talk with his wife. So first case of that wound. तो उस पेशेंट की वाइफ शी टोल्ड मी कि later on I got this input from her. कि my like she gave the following thing. He never complains but gets angry if I become late in applying plastic to the wound before bath. So, but at the same time, she said he is very understanding too, and will do his this thing, apply the plastic on his own if I have to go out somewhere. So then another input was he has become very sad since the healing is not occurring, since the day of that wound started, and he doesn't feel like going out anywhere. She gave an example that they had a singing kitty and he had prepared to for that singing, but he didn't go. And then she said immediately 2 days, one more very important input, which will like now retrospectively I am relating it. So this was the input given that 2 days after the surgery, immediately जो बाल तोड़ का surgery किया, the wound which we are seeing, the patient had some destination wedding of a close family person. So he went there by flight immediately 2 days after surgery. And being a very close family function, so in that Sangeet function, he danced also with that bandage and surgery. So I said, why so? Itna kya zarurat tha? First of all, so he shouldn't have gone only. And on top of that, he danced in that Sangeet function. So she said that he'll do anything for the family. He'll tolerate it and will not care for himself. Family is his first priority. And then she added, if his children are in trouble, he'll take all the care, but he neglects his problems. So this was a very important input given later on. Then she added few more things. She said ki, he's very helpful by nature. He will never say no to anybody. See this case, he will never say no. And the second case, she doesn't want to hear no from anybody. So how both are so different. So she said ki he will adjust himself, but will do his best to help others with no expectation in return. So I asked like क्या है like क्यों adjust करते with no expectation. She said कि some of their friends' parents were coming from abroad and to fetch them like nearly 300, 200, 300 kilometers, he sent his car to fetch them from the Mumbai airport. तो इतना कौन करता है फ्रेंड के पेरेंट्स वहां से आ रहे हैं तो this was very unusual, like इतना तो कोई नहीं करता है. Then she also added that everyone in the family and friends looks to him for any help or suggestion. He's CA by profession and a good advisor too. So everybody calls him a problem solver in the family. So he is very fond of reading all topics and he has his own library at home. Earlier, this first case also has a liking for reading and library at home. Second case also, she told ki reading, she has so much passion, she doesn't touch the phone for hours. And then she also added he is the regional president of a very big national organization. He is very humble to talk to everyone. यहाँ पे I would say कि when the person called me on phone, so he is 60 years and I being very younger, much younger to him. So throughout the conversation, he was telling आप करके मुझसे बात कर रहे थे वो. So that was so much the way humbly he was talking. He has contacts with very big leaders, singers of the country. A very big singer was invited to his son's wedding as a friend. So this is the picture of the patient given by his wife later on. So my prescribing rubrics in the first case was frivolous. Frivolous why? Because from the day of operation till the 18th day when the surgeon told that this wound will take more 3 to 4 weeks, till that time he was very relaxed, carefree, not serious about the problem. And after the operation he went for the wedding also. So that was his frivolous nature where he's not serious. कि हाँ हो जाएगा ठीक, ऑपरेशन तो हो गया अभी ठीक हो जाएगा. So that's why I took frivolous. Then anxiety waking on. Waking on is what up ekdam suddenly how you get up in the morning. So when the surgeon told ye time lagega, that was the waking moment for him and that created anxiety in him. So that is anxiety waking on. Then delusion longer things seem. ये उन्होंने 2-3 जगह बोला. बहुत लंबा खींच गया. Even business matter कब खत्म होगा. सब लंबा खींचे जा रहा है. So that way, delusion longer thinks same. This remedy is this is the, I think so, single remedy rubric. Then carried desire to be carried. Carried desire to be carried is like when the person he told me, do you have any thing in homeopathy for my this wound to heal faster? So he wanted me to take care of him, like to take charge of the problem further so that he gets faster healing. So that's why it is carried desire to be carried. Doubtful recovery about when the surgeon gave that narrative, he was doubtful कि अब ये ठीक होगा कि नहीं, कितना लंबा ठीक होगा. Doubtful था, but at the same time he was positive. Finally ये ठीक तो हो गई, even business problem तो solve हो गई. That is optimistic. And he had anxiety business about and reverence for those around him because uh, the throughout the conversation आप करके बोल रहे थे मेरे साथ. So it was too much like very humbly he was talking. So, retrospective rubrics of the first case. There was love for family. He went to the destination wedding. Then cares full of relatives about, others about, anxiety children about his, delusion injury being injured, benevolence and generous too. Because who's कौन भेजता है कार इतना लंबा to fetch somebody. So he was very generous. He used to help everybody. कोई भी उनके यहाँ कुछ प्रॉब्लम लेके गया है, they will not get a negative thing कि हम वो problem solve नहीं होगा that way. They are very charming, like people get charmed by them, charming others, delusion, wealth, all this. Wealth is related to not only to monetary things. Wealth can be health, knowledge, whatever you possess, that is your wealth. It can be health, wealth, knowledge, and anything which you possess. So, happiness, whatever you have, that is wealth. So he had that wealth delusion. Great person is from the retro study which I had shown about given by his wife. And now prescribing rubrics of case two. Case two was a very different shade where there was too much of ego, anger, everything was there. So ailments from egotism, ailments from embarrassment, embarrassment because she was fired from the job without any this thing notice and by falsely accusing. That was a very embarrassing moment for her. She felt disgraced. Disgraced matlab you are not respected or you are humiliated. So that was a feeling. She was very ambitious. She was ambitious to make money टू बी इंडिपेंडेंट शी सेड कि वो बार बार बोल रही थी मैं किसी से मांगना नहीं चाहती हूँ आई वॉन्ट टू बी इंडिपेंडेंट ऑन माई ओन डिल्यूजन ग्रेट पर्सन इज डिल्यूजन वो लग ही रहा था कि शी वॉज पुटरिंग हर दिस थिंग डिल्यूजन वेल्थ डिल्यूजन वांट ही विल कम टू तो उसको ये लगता था कि मैं जॉब नहीं करूंगी मेरे पास वो नहीं रहेगा तो आई हैव टू मैनेज माई एक्सपेंसेस आई डोंट वांट टू आस्क फ्रॉम एनीबडी तो मुझे वो मांगने की नौबत न आए मांगने की नौबत न आना इज delusion want he'll come to. And fear of poverty. Poverty is not only related to money. Poverty is whatever resources, whatever possessions you have, that is your wealth. And when you start feeling that it may decline. So that fear is always about the future. So wo jo possessions a person has, that should not come down. That is the fear of poverty. And in the second case, she said ki well, she used to talk angrily with her mother, but immediately she used to feel I shouldn't have talked like this. So anger alternating with repentance quick. And she felt persecuted throughout by the job people, by this thing. Her father also, she felt ki he said this thing. So everywhere she was feeling persecuted, angry. So delusion persecuted, he or she is. So the remedy is sulfur. Congratulations, many of you have come. Khyati and Dr. Rao all have come to the right remedy. The remedy is simple. My main purpose was to show the different aspects. Like we should not get scared or this thing when such like वो wound वाला case था तो देख के हम ही डर जाएं कि अरे नहीं हम नहीं लेते. We should go ahead. We should give our best. Homeopathy is like that's why I told it's a new suture for wound healing. So the remedy is sulfur. Now we'll go in details of little about this remedy. So the journey of sulfur is these individuals are very frivolous, as in the first case, because he considers himself wealthy to the extent of abundance. In disease condition also, he feels he can manage the disease and doesn't feel it can create problem for him. तो वही था ना कि वो 18 days रिलैक्स था, चिल्ड आउट था कि हाँ मेरा डिजीज ठीक हो जाएगा, इट वोंट क्रिएट प्रॉब्लम. बट व्हेन द डिजीज कंडीशन इंक्रीजेस और प्रोग्रेसेस, he starts becoming anxious and fearful. He starts becoming cautious and anxious and starts taking care of the condition. जैसे आई टोल्ड, सडनली एकदम जैसे नींद से जाग गए वो, अभी मुझे इस पे ध्यान देना है, बहुत हो गया अभी, जल्दी ठीक करना है. तो दैट वे इट वाज. Sulfur people are very communicative, very expansive. Sulfur always wants appreciation. Anxiety waking on that rubric which I was telling. Waking is what to become aware or to make someone aware of something such as an existing problem or danger. You can see in the pic जैसे एकदम से नींद से जाग के आप डर जाते हो, एकदम anxious हो जाते हो. Sulfur is also there in fear waking on and anxiety waking on. So I wanted to explain what is waking. When you are aware of that existing problem or danger, that is waking on. Yesterday, my friend Dr. Sanket, his case was also related to respect. Hamamelis was his remedy. So in that also, he gave the similar slide. Give respect to get respect. So sulfur personality is also the same. Uh, I'm happy that we both are sharing PCOD case and our both our remedies are related to respect. So we both align very nicely in these 2 days. So give respect to get respect is the quality of sulfur. Sulfur himself is a king and treats the other person too as a king. वो एक राजा होता है, वो उसके अंदर वो सारा wealth possession, वो sulfur has ego, but it is not a negative ego, it is a positive ego. तो वो जो होता है ना, उससे वो feels he is having in abundance everything. So he is very caring, intelligent, ambitious person, independent, and routinist. Routinist, my earlier first patient was always saying मुझे मेरा routine में वापस आना है, routine में वापस आना है. That's why he was getting restless. And they are people who can charm others. Like people were getting charmed, people were coming and asking him solution for their problems. So he was called a problem solver. So his sense of wealth makes him feel great, determined, and he perseveres in everything with reverence for others. He has tremendous reverence for others. वो even he'll come to the clinic, he will say कि हाँ डॉक्टर ये हो रहा है, धीरे धीरे ठीक हो रहा है, but मुझे मालूम है आप ठीक कर दोगे. The way he talks, and he will never say negative to the doctor. With reverence he'll talk. And it makes him frivolous, hopeful, optimistic, and positive in any situation. So we saw that he said कि कितना भी होगा, at the end it is going to get solved. Sulfur is in the delusion of wealth. So just we'll go through this. Delusion is an inner feeling of being rich, powerful, or elevated. And sulfur people have big dreams, big bold ideas. Then they appear to be proud, expansive. They boast about the future projects. All this is the wealth is the possession of knowledge, resources, um, health, anything which is related. As I told earlier, it is wealth. So a sulfur person, as you see in this pic, he is a wealthy person with a lot of knowledge, books, everything. So delusion, wealth of delusion, abundance of everything he has, charming others, great person, egotism. And when he has all this, and when he always has this fear, कि ये कम ना हो जाए, जो है उसके पास जो भी possessions है, ये कम ना हो जाए. So that thing is fear of poverty, delusion thin he is getting. Thin is not the thin which we say. Whatever you are having, उसके अंदर कमी ना आए. Like, it should not become less. So that is thin he is getting. And wealth ka one more I think I would say, one of my patient, she used to always come and say कि मेरे बच्चे ये कर रहे हैं, मेरा बेटा यहाँ है, मेरा बेटा वहाँ है. तो this way she was projecting. तो ये भी एक wealth है, where she feels कि very proud of her children कि ये मेरे possession है, they are my wealth. So wealth can be anything. So the person who is frivolous, and frivolous means not serious. So and considers himself wealthy to the extent of abundance, now feels his health as well as wealth will go down. So wo jo that going down phase nahi aaye. That is delusion thin he is getting. That fear he always has, that I'll go into poverty, fear of poverty. So this picture, like he always has this fear, my position should not decline. And then when, if there is poverty, तो फिर वो दिन ना आए कि मुझे किसी के सामने हाथ फैलाना पड़े. So sulfur is always a giver. If I can see, they are always like this. They cannot do like this. वो मांग नहीं सकते. किसी से कुछ मांग नहीं सकते, और always givers. So delusion, he'll come to want, like मुझे मांगने की नौबत ना आए. So they have an anticipatory fear, believe that poverty or deprivation is inevitable, and they are very this thing, emotional insecurities. They have fear of helplessness, abandonment, loss of control. So from the picture you can see, even with full hands, he fears empty days. Very apt line for this delusion. He will come to want. तो हाथ भरे हुए, बट उसको डर रहता है कि भरे हुए हाथ खाली ना हो जाए मेरे, कम ना हो जाए. सल्फर इज अ वेरी जनरस पर्सन, उसको दानवीर भी कहा जाता है. सल्फर इज ऑलवेज अ गिवर, एज आई टोल्ड, ही इज लाइक दिस गिवर, एंड दिल खोलकर दान करने वाला है. यहाँ पे भी ये क्यों करता है? व्हाई ही डज? टू सैटिस्फाई हिज ओन ईगो. तो वो ईगो इज नॉट अ नेगेटिव ईगो, इट इज अ पॉजिटिव ईगो. वो खुद को अच्छा फील होता है, ही फील्स यस आई शुड डू दिस. तो वो उतनी जेनरोसिटी भी सब में नहीं होती है. इफ पीपल आर वेल्दी, स्टिल दे डोंट गो एंड हेल्प अदर्स. बट सल्फर पर्सनैलिटी इज, जो है वो उसको देना चाहता है, उसका खुद का ईगो बूस्ट होता है उससे. So, but when he is getting thin and when he has to ask for help, it is very embarrassing for him and he feels disgraced. So, generous people के examples everybody knows, राजा हरिश्चंद्र, कर्ण in महाभारत, जहाँ उन्होंने अपना कवच कुंडल तक दे दिया था कृष्ण को. तो ये ऐसे generous people होते हैं. Silver people have very much love for their family. तो family के लिए they will do anything. My first case went to the destination wedding, dance भी किया. In the second case also, anything told against her family, she used to fight for them. तो वो love for family is seen in them. तो anxiety children about is, anxiety family about is, anxiety future about, delusion want he'll come to. अभी ये जो when he has this fear, वो कि my resources should not decline, so that fear is always there कि I should not come to that, delusion want he'll come to. And fear of starving, when his sense of wealth fades, he feels anxious about his family and children with regards to future. He starts thinking if the disease progresses, he won't be able to do his work and may come to a situation of absolute poverty, that is want. As sulfur is a king, he feels everyone is dependent on him and he has to take care of everyone. If anything happens to him, then who will take care of them? So वो बोलते हैं ना, एक राजा, how a king protects his kingdom और इसकी प्रजा को. तो that type of sulfur personalities, he's always all everybody उनकी छत्र छाया में है. सल्फर को प्रॉब्लम्स कब आते हैं? तो सेकंड केस में, फर्स्ट केस में द व्हाई ऑफ द केस वाज नॉट नोन, ओनली दैट सेपरेशन ऑफ द बिजनेस वाज नोन, बट हाउ इट impacted that was not. Only the concern was acute concern regarding the healing. The second case, all these, most of the things which I have written in ailments from were matching ailments from egotism, embarrassment, mortification, friendship deceived, honor wounded, scorned being, reputation loss of shame, ailments from reproaches, ailments from rejected from being, delusion, disgrace is, delusion, doomed being. All these are like the uh, rubrics of ailment. Doomed is what, where you are, you know that you're certain to fail, where there is no hope of any rescue or outcome. So that is doomed. So delusion, insulted he is. So he feels harassed and injured by the problem. He thinks he is getting worse day by day. जो अभी प्रॉब्लम, जैसे फर्स्ट केस में अभी वो हैरेस ही कर रहा था उसको, उसका रोज का रूटीन डिस्टर्ब हो रहा था. So he thinks it is getting worse day by day. So delusion, injury, being injured, delusion, persecuted him, delusion, longer thing seems. All these rubrics already I have mentioned. Anger of sulfur is always irritability with quick and easy remorse, irritability, anger alternating with quick repentance, injustice cannot support, hypochondriasis, morose. So she is very short tempered. Second case to pura short tempered tha and starts getting irritable, angry over petty issues, but immediately feels sorry for her behavior as she thinks it is injustice towards the people. वो मैंने गलत किया सामने वाले के साथ. I did wrong. So she feels sorry about it. Sulphur is a very intelligent person. Sulphur will read so much to be knowledgeable so that the intelligence uh, he is intelligent and than others and to gain respect. वो अपने आप को इतना updated रखते हैं कि when you ask anything on any topic, they are ready to give you any answer. They are so much updated with the knowledge there, every knowledge, not only in one field. So he gives respects and want respect to maintain his position. This is their positive ego. So the rubrics for the intelligence side is mental exertion, desire for literary work, curious training to know the physician of, reading desire, medical books to read, philosophy, ability for reason, power increase, theorizing. So these are the intelligent sulfur. Sulfur goes into despair when he feels being such an optimistic, positive person, but still somewhere when things don't go the way they should go, then he goes into that despair. Despair is nirasha. So sadness, disease about ailments from failure, literary, scientific failure. I'll explain this rubric. Sadness, fortune from reverse of doubtful, despair, recovery of. When the efforts to tackle the disease fails, he goes into despair, sadness, and indifference. The person who was hopeful, optimistic, and positive now feels despaired. So you can see how the person in the pic getting so sad because he's not able to find a solution. So ailments from literary or scientific failure, this is not related only to the any system of medicine or this thing. It is anything which you are going in one direction and where you feel that this should happen in this way, and when that doesn't happen, you are where you're expecting some results in something and you're not getting those results. So that is also literary or scientific failure. So the distress caused by the failure of the operating system to achieve the desired or expected results. Here it was related like he was not getting healed by the this thing. So that's why he felt ki ailments from this we can apply this rubric over here. First case mein. Sulphur child also, I would like to say, Sulphur child is very intelligent, curious, inquisitive. They'll keep asking question in the clinic. पूछते रहेंगे कुछ ना कुछ. Here I would narrate a small case. Long back, around 15 years back, a second or third standard child came to my clinic, and he was with big specs and holding an encyclopedia, kids encyclopedia. I was surprised कि such a small child reading such book. तो then mother told ये बहुत पढ़ता है ऐसी book. After a few months again when he came for the follow-up, my kids were in 6th 7th standard, तो he told me कि आपके मुझे आप मुझे 6th 7th का केमिस्ट्री की बुक्स दोगे क्या? A 4th standard child asking me chemistry books for 6th 7th standard. I was surprised ये क्या है? तो that time I related this like they are always curious and inquisitive to learn something. And the rubrics are inquisitive, curious, naive but intelligent, precocity of children, touching impelled to touch everything. When they come to your clinic, they'll keep touching everything too with the curiosity. It is not a destructive way of touching. हर चीज में जानने की कोशिश रहती है, इधर क्या है उधर क्या है. These children are always watchful. उनका ध्यान इतना रहता है कि कहाँ क्या हो रहा है. If you are like going on a street and they will observe everything, and second time you may forget कि ये ऐसे से इधर ये आ रहा है, but these children will tell you कि after this will come, this lane will come. So it's so much watchful these children are. Flattering, seducing behavior in children, this is the sulfur child. First pick of the how curious he is. No, उसकी eyes of sulfur are always very curious. The first pick is showing this. There are negative shades of sulfur, which sometimes we get, it's not always bargaining, chaotic, charlatan. Charlatan is showing off the knowledge that you have possessing too much of, but actually you don't have. For example, somebody will say ki, um, they will keep talking about sensex or something, but actually they don't have any knowledge of sensex. So that is charlatan. So elegance, want of elegance, hypocrisy, usurer. Usurer is where you give a little thing and you expect more in return. So these are very rarely found shades of sulfur. But sulfur, you may get any of these two. Then avarice hota hai, then defiant, adulterous, perfidious, then hurry, haste in movement. These are all the negative shades of sulfur. The DD remedies which were going with the case, uh, like dignified hai, natrimure is very dignified, secretive, exclusive. Then independence lack of, consolation aggravates, delusion wretched she looked. So she was, second case was looking dignified, बहुत independent, that way we were feeling. But वो she was not secretive, she was saying everything. Natrimure अपना दुख किसी को दिखाएगा नहीं क्योंकि उसको वो अपना wretchedness बाहर नहीं लाना है. So that's why they feel very exclusive and all. So that's why they don't show their problems to anybody. Naxwamika was the closed DD considering the anger part of the second patient. So, but Naxwamika is in poor, delusion poor is, Naxwamika is in ambition increased for fame. Here the patient was not bothered about fame. She only wanted money to meet her expenses. Independence, lack of, the Naxwamika is in selfishness, and Naxwamika has ailments from intolerance. Looking in, sorry, this repeat ho gaya. So this is Naxwamika. The other remedies are platina, calcarea. So calcarea is also in delusion wealth of, and platina ka like superiority complex is there. Then pompous, important, exclusive to, contemptuous. They will always keep निंदा करते रहेंगे किसी ना किसी की. That type of behavior platina is having. They are concerned about their social position. Platina will ask for help in a very like ना सामने वाले को नीचा गिरा के. तो देखो मैं तो ये सब आपसे होता है तो देख लो, आप कर सकते हो तो ठीक है, नहीं तो मैं तो और भी solution है. This way they'll talk when they'll ask for help. And so this is platina. Then calcarea is like वो भी they also are very this thing, um, anxious personality. They are also very easily fearful है. So we can think of that also. But यहाँ पे the patient was not that way. He was just asking to get faster relief. To start, light desire for starting prick of the needle, exclusive to, pompous, important. Boaster, calcarea has always fear of social position. लोग क्या बोलेंगे? Fear observed of his condition, as they are very sensitive to criticism, to the opinion of others. So this is calcarea. These are the DD remedies. Thank you very much. I hope I could explain everything. Hello. Any questions or anything?
Yes. So it's time for the questions now.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions?
So, ma'am, Dr. Vine Rao is saying very nice, interesting, and informative webinar. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ryan Rao. You also came to the right remedy. Maninder, Dr. Maninder also, Dr. Khyati, and many more
Yes,
people.
ma'am.
I said the remedy was not like my purpose was not to show.
Hmm.
I wanted to show two different shades of the same remedy, like in acute state and in the chronic state. So how the patient presents, how
Huh.
what is his current state of mind regarding that problem. That is also very important in acute cases. Yes. Any questions?
So, do we have any questions regarding the rubrics or the differentiation between the medicines?
No, I'm not seeing any questions here.
Yes, ma'am.
I
So,
think
Dilip Modak is also,
uh,
he's saying
uh, yeah.
0/1 sulfur, how long and repeat action was done?
I gave him 0/1 water dose, like
Hmm.
how we normally I give is in a half liter of bottle, you have to fill it 3/4 of it, and 0/1 ka those minute pills, 10 to 12 pills, I asked them to put in the bottle, and they have
Hmm.
to shake it 10 times, give strokes. So after giving strokes, you have to take 1 spoon, and then next day you have to add 1 spoon of fresh water to it and again give strokes. So every day one dose of that water was given, and for 7 days it
Hmm.
was given. So I gave him only for 7 days, and the wound healed very
Hmm.
nicely as I showed you in the pic. So even the patient gave me a this thing later on, his review, video recorded review. I'm very happy with the way homeopathy can treat such wounds also, because till
Hmm.
now they were not sure ki homeopathy works in this also. So post-operative wounds, we have, like, if we go on
Hmm.
to the state of mind of the person after operation, like sometimes the
Hmm.
person feels ki I may not get healed properly. Sometimes they have
Yes,
anxiety. So what phase that person is going, based on that, if we come to the simillimum, so it helps in faster recovery. So homeopathy plays a very
definitely.
important role in acute post-operative cases also. We should go for all the such cases in future.
Sure, sure, ma'am. So next, ma'am, Maninder is saying,
Hmm.
kindly explain reverse of fortune rubric.
Reverse of fortune can be like आपका सब कुछ smoothly चल रहा है, and suddenly something crops up where everything goes, पूरा 360 degree turn हो जाता है. तो जैसे अभी ये केस में he was going nicely thinking मेरा wound will get healed, and जैसे ही वो सर्जन ने बोला कि और 1 महीना लग सकता है, that was a reverse of fortune. जो सोचा था उसका उल्टा हो जाना. So yeah, the reverse of fortune can be anything, even financial loss हुआ तो reverse of fortune हो गया. If there is any sudden breakup और उसकी वजह से the patient lands in any disease, तो वो भी एक reverse of fortune है. So any accident the patient meets, and because of that everything goes पूरा topsy turvy, and he lands into very bad situation, that also is a reverse of fortune. So reverse of fortune is related to what is going on nicely in your life and suddenly something happens so that it everything turns pura opposite to it. So that is reverse of fortune. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this nice explanation of the rubric.
Mhm.
Dr. Shailesh is also saying good explanation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansi, for all your support and this thing. Thank you, Homeopathy 360 for inviting me. I'm very thankful to everyone, all my delegates who attended this. Thank you, everyone, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's our pleasure to have you on the on today's session, and
Yeah.
we definitely learned many rubrics, and plus we you also helped us in differentiating the medicines between
Mm.
their psychology and the way of responding. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye. Good
Bye
night,
bye.
everyone.
Good
Yeah.
night, ma'am.